Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel, The Power of a Low Carb Lifestyle. And on this channel, we discuss all things related to the low carbohydrate diet. I especially take a look at it through the lens of God's holy word. However, many of the topics that we discuss on there, including this topic today, is one that I think can reach anyone regardless of which way you approach low carbohydrate diets. Now, low carbohydrate diets can be anywhere from no carbs to about 100 carbs. So some people will say up to 150 if you're paleo. But when we talk about a ketogenic diet, which is today's topic, it's a little bit different. There's a set amount of carbohydrates or kind of a limit to the amount of carbohydrates that one can have in order to be in nutritional ketosis. Specifically, we're going to ask the question today, what is a well-formulated ketogenic diet, or if you will, nature's keto harmony? Well, first, before we get into the specifics about the macronutrient breakdown, I think it's important to understand that a well-formulated ketogenic diet is one that needs to focus primarily on whole food sources. I know that in today's world, having a packaged food is often convenient, and I can certainly understand and respect that. However, if we're being honest, a lot of the packaged foods are ultra processed. And yes, even some keto products are very much processed, and it's probably not the best way to go around it. So when we talk about a well-formulated ketogenic diet, we're talking about a diet in which 95% of your food or better is coming from whole food sources or minimally processed sources such as extra virgin olive oil. So, as everyone I'm sure is familiar with, there are three macronutrients: fat, protein, and carbohydrates. And in the realm of carbohydrates, there is natural fiber found in whole food, and then there is the remainder of the carbohydrates. In the realm of protein, you have meat-based proteins, you have even plant-based proteins. In the realm of fat, you have both animal fat and plant-based fat. You have some fats that are higher in saturated, some are higher in monounsaturated. So let's talk a little bit about this. When we talk about a well-formulated ketogenic diet, we're talking about a diet in which about 70 to 75% of your total calories is going to be coming from fat. First of all, from the sources that you eat. For example, if you eat a hamburger patty, you're not just eating the protein, you're also getting the rendered fat that's left behind, at least if you include the pan drippings, which we should be actually including the pan drippings. You also have the fat that's marbled into your ribeye steaks. You have the fat that's in the yellow or the yolk of the egg. You have the fat that's in the avocado, the olives, your nuts and your seeds. You also have it in the added fats such as butter, ghee, coconut oil, extra virgin olive oil, avocado oil. Ultimately, we're looking for about 70 to 75% of our calories coming from this. The fat that we want to avoid, two of them. One is the man-made trans fats, which has largely been eliminated from the diet. Keep in mind, though, if you pick up a packaged products and it may say 0 trans fats, but legally, if they have 0.4 grams or less, they don't have to list it. So how do you know? If you pick up a product and it says, anywhere in the ingredient list, it says partially hydrogenated, and then whatever kind of oil, cottonseed oil, whatever it is, that's going to have man-made trans fats, even if it's not enough to register on the nutrition facts. Leave all of those things alone. Now, there is a natural trans fat that's found in beef, CLA, and that one promotes health. It doesn't rob people of their health, but it's also natural, found the way God had created it. The other type of oils we should be avoiding are the industrial oils, seed oils such as canola oil, grapeseed oil, soybean oil, cottonseed oil, sunflower oil, unless it's high oleic. We should be avoiding oils that are very high in omega-6s. Now, we need omega-6s to be sure, but if you're eating any kind of variety of foods, you're going to more than get both EPA or omega-3s and omega-6s. Now, when you have your fatty fish like salmon, sardines, or mackerel, or herring, these are good. These are high in omega-3s. So again, the only oils we avoid are the man-made trans fats and the industrial seed oils. What about protein? Now, this is where it gets interesting. There seems to be a wide variety of opinion on protein. Some advocate on the lower end. Some advocate on the way on the upper ends. And I think we probably shouldn't focus so much on either one of those spectrums. In general, most people, if you take your ideal body weight in pounds, because most people listening to this will be in pounds, you want anywhere from 0.5 to about 0.8 grams per pound of ideal body weight. For example, if your ideal body weight is supposed to be 180 pounds, you're going to be somewhere between half of that number, which is 90, but as high as about 150. And there's a lot of variance in there, depending on your individual needs. The reason why I personally don't advocate for higher than 0.8 is if the goal is nutritional ketosis, then we need to make sure that we can remain in ketosis and you can eat enough protein that will knock you out of nutritional ketosis. I've tested my ketones many a times when I've had higher upper ends of protein, and it will knock me out of ketosis. Now, if your goal is just low enough in carbs that your blood sugar control is good, and you're not so much worried about ketones, then you probably don't have to worry about that. But this is for people specifically who need to be in ketosis. So about 0.5 to 0.8 grams per pound of ideal body weight will be sufficient. And you can get that from plant-based sources. They make some really good vegan or plant-based protein powders that are very low in carbohydrates. They're often made from pea protein powder or hemp protein. Those are fine. Tofu is fine if you want to do it as a vegan. If you're a vegetarian, you can also add eggs and hard cheese and stuff like that. And then we'll talk about the carbohydrates. To be in nutritional ketosis, you're going to have to be pretty much south of 50 carbohydrates. How much further south? Well, some people can still be in ketosis at 40. Some will need to be closer to 20. And that's okay. Wherever your total is, that's fine. Now, when we talk about carbohydrates, what we're talking about is whole food carbohydrates. If you're eating whole food carbohydrates, you can subtract the fiber from that total. So if you're eating a cup of broccoli, 4 total carbs, it has 2 fiber, leaves you with 2 net carbohydrates. But that's only when you're eating whole food. Any packaged food, it is imperative that you count the total carbohydrates, because they use a lot of fancy wording as a way to try to get you to believe that it's not going to impact your blood sugar. If you have a product with 10 total carbs or 2 net carbs, but it's packaged and filled with a bunch of ingredients, it's still 10 carbohydrates. I cannot strongly emphasize that enough. And maybe you can afford that 10 grams carbohydrates. Maybe you can. But if your total is 20, you've used half of it just on that one product. So please keep that in mind. So again, a well-formulated ketogenic diet is one that has really adequate amounts of fat, high fat, from whole food sources, 70 to 75% of your calories, roughly 0.5 to 0.8 grams of protein per pound of ideal body weight, which you can find that pretty easily by using Google search for your age, for your height, and if you're male or female, it'll give you that information that you need. And then you just figure out if you want to be in the lower end or higher end of that, depending on your individual needs and preferences. And then lastly, keep between 20 and 40 total grams of carbohydrates, or you can do net carbs as long as you're subtracting only from the whole food sources, the fiber. And you can either eat 1, 2, or 3 meals a day. But I would encourage you, even if you eat 3 meals a day, give yourself at least 12 hours from the meal you had the night before you eat breakfast. As a matter of fact, I can eat 3 meals a day and eat it in an 8-hour window, still doing an 8 or 16-hour fast, 8-hour eating window. Or if you will, a 10-hour eating window. This will keep your insulin low and your blood sugar and your pancreas will thank you. Well, I hope this information has been valuable to you. If you find this information useful, please feel free to like or leave a comment or just subscribe. If you subscribe, you can click the notification bell or the icon to get notifications, when I upload new material. There's also a link on my description for coffee if you want to buy me a coffee or to appreciate the work we do. Certainly not required, but it is appreciated, of course. So until the next time I create a video, may God bless you and keep you, and may you find success on your low carbohydrate diet.